Have you noticed the trap? Society screams for strong men. Leaders, protectors, men who can hold the line when everything collapses. But the moment you show strength, you're toxic. The moment you set boundaries, you're controlling. The moment you refuse to bend, you're the problem. It's the most elegant psychological cage ever built. Because they need what you are, but they've trained you to apologize for it. You feel it, don't you? That constant tension, that voice whispering, be stronger, but not like that. And here's the question that keeps you up at night. If society actually wanted weak men, why does it still only respect the strong ones? Right now, millions of men are living in a psychological prison they can't even name. They were told to open up, so they did. And they watched respect drain from the eyes of everyone around them. They were told to be vulnerable, so they shared. And they became invisible to the women who preached it. They were told strength was toxic, so they softened. And they watched weaker men take everything they wanted. This isn't theory, this is your life. You've been handed two contradictory scripts. The public sermon says, men should cry, share feelings, show softness, embrace emotional availability. But the actual selection process, the one that determines who gets chosen for leadership, partnership, respect, whispers something completely different. Give me the man who doesn't break when the pressure comes. And you're stuck in the middle, wondering which lie to believe. If this resonates, if you've felt this contradiction tearing you apart, hit that like button now. Because in the next 20 minutes, we're gonna dismantle the cage they built around your masculinity and show you the way out. And subscribe, because what we're about to expose goes deeper than dating advice or motivation. This is about reclaiming something stolen from an entire generation of men. Act the contradictory programming. Let's start with the uncomfortable truth they don't want you to see. Society doesn't want strong men. It wants the benefits of strong men without paying the price. Because here's what nobody tells you. Strong men are dangerous. Not physically dangerous, psychologically dangerous. A truly strong man questions. He doesn't follow. He doesn't comply for comfort. He doesn't bend his reality to match someone else's narrative. He carries his own frame, his own standards, his own direction, and power structures, whether corporate, cultural, or political, they can't control that. So they do what any intelligent system does when faced with a threat. They reprogram the double script. You're living under two operating systems simultaneously. System 1, the public script. This is the one spoken out loud in TED Talks, therapy sessions, and social media posts. Men need to be more emotionally available. Express your feelings, cry, show vulnerability, reject traditional masculinity, embrace softness. Sounds noble, doesn't it? Progressive, evolved. System 2, the unconscious selection bias. This is the one nobody admits, but everyone follows. When the crisis hits, who do they call? The soft man or the steady one? When she's choosing between suitors, who does her biology respond to? The one who shares his insecurities or the one who radiates certainty? When the company needs a leader for a critical project, who gets chosen? The vulnerable team player or the decisive executor? System 2 always wins. Always. But you're being judged by System 1 while being selected by System 2. That's the trap. Why this contradiction exists. First, society wants controlled strength. They want you strong enough to carry the weight. Strong enough to provide, protect, build, sacrifice. But not strong enough to resist. Not strong enough to refuse. Not strong enough to walk away when the deal isn't fair. Controlled strength serves. Uncontrolled strength leads. Guess which one they're terrified of? Second, vulnerability has become a performance. The culture fetishizes male vulnerability, but only the kind that's carefully curated. Only the kind that doesn't actually threaten your perceived competence. A man says, I struggle with imposter syndrome, and the crowd applauds. Safe, relatable, still functional. A man says, I'm so depressed I can barely get out of bed. And watch what happens. The opportunities dry up. The romantic interest fades. The respect subtly shifts. People say they want your honesty. What they actually want is your honesty within acceptable boundaries. Third, women are caught in the same contradiction. And before you think this is about blaming women, stop. They didn't create this system. They're just responding to it. Evolution didn't disappear because we have podcasts about emotions now. When a woman feels safe, she craves emotional intimacy, connection, vulnerability. She wants you to open up. But when instability hits, when uncertainty creeps in, her biology overrides her ideology. Suddenly she needs your steadiness, your certainty, your emotional rock. She wants both. And she's not lying when she says she does. But she wants them from different emotional states. And men are expected to switch between them flawlessly, reading her shifting needs without a manual. Fourth, modern culture confuses emotional health with emotional exposure. Here's what they don't teach you. A healthy man isn't one who spills everything. A healthy man is one who is integrated. He feels his emotions. He understands them. But he's not ruled by them. That's mastery. That's actual emotional intelligence. But the culture pushes men to open up without teaching them how to regulate. It's like telling someone to open their car hood in a rainstorm with no tools and then shaming them when the engine floods. So how did we get here? How did an entire generation of men get programmed to weaken themselves while believing it was growth? The answer is brilliant in its simplicity. They convinced you that your nature was the problem. Step 1, redefine masculinity as pathology. First, they took every traditional masculine trait and attached a negative label. Assertiveness became aggression. Competitiveness became toxic. Emotional control became repression. Ambition became selfishness. Independence became emotional unavailability. Suddenly, the very traits that built civilizations were reframed as threats to them. And here's a genius. They didn't ban masculinity. They just made you ashamed of it. Step 2, sell evolved masculinity as the solution. Once your nature was pathologized, they offered you the cure. Become softer, more emotional, more compliant, more feminine. They called it evolution, growth, enlightenment. But notice what happened. The men who bought this narrative completely became invisible, passed over, friend-zoned, underestimated. Not because there's something wrong with emotional openness, but because they replaced their masculine core with a performance of sensitivity. They became what they thought women wanted instead of who women actually respond to. Step 3, punish resistance. Any man who questioned this narrative was labeled toxic, misogynistic, insecure, fragile. The message was clear. Conform or be cast out. And most men, desperate for acceptance, desperate to be good, complied, they traded their edge for approval, their strength for inclusion, their frame for comfort. And then they wondered why nothing worked. The results: a generation of confused men. Look around. What do you see? Men who can't make decisions without consensus. Men who apologize for their presence. Men who seek permission to take up space. Men who have resources but no respect. Options but no attraction. Kindness but no power. They did everything right according to the public script, and they lost anyway. Because the game was rigged from the start. The biological override. Here's what the programming ignores. Biology doesn't care about ideology. A woman can intellectually believe she wants a soft, emotionally available man. She can say it, mean it, believe it fully. But when her unconscious mind evaluates you, it's not asking what she thinks, it's asking what she feels. And feeling happens below the level of conscious thought. Her body asks, Can this man lead when I'm lost? Can he stay calm when I'm chaos? Can he hold the line when pressure comes? If the answer is no, her attraction doesn't ignite. Not because she's shallow, because she's wired for survival. The same applies in the boardroom, the battlefield, the brotherhood. Respect isn't given to the most emotionally expressive man. It's given to the most emotionally grounded one. The Machiavellian insight, Machiavelli understood this 5 centuries ago. He wrote about it in The Prince, though not in these exact terms. He said that the appearance of virtue is more useful than virtue itself. Because people don't judge you by your internal reality. They judge you by what you project. A leader who is actually merciful but appears weak loses his throne. A leader who is calculating but appears compassionate keeps power. The lesson translates directly. Your internal emotional world matters to you. Your external presence matters to everyone else. Modern masculinity training reversed this. It told you to make your internal world your primary focus and to express it constantly. Noble idea, terrible strategy. Because while you were journaling your feelings, other men were building empires. While you were processing your trauma, they were taking the opportunities you hesitated on. Not because they were healthier, but because they understood the game, the real cost of weakness. Let's talk about what this costs you. Not in theory, in your actual life. Cost 1, invisible manhood. You've become functionally invisible to the women you desire. You're kind, you're available, you're emotionally supportive, you listen, you respect boundaries, you do everything the script told you to do, and she friend zones you. Or worse, she uses you for emotional support while sleeping with men who don't give her half the care you do. Why? Because you're safe. And safety doesn't trigger desire, it triggers comfort. She likes you, she values you, she might even love you, but her body doesn't respond to you. That's not her fault, and it's not yours. It's the consequence of playing by the wrong rules. Cost 2, professional plateau. You watch less qualified men get promoted, men who talk more confidently, men who take credit for your work, men who don't second-guess themselves into paralysis. You were taught that competence and humility would be rewarded, that hard work speaks for itself. But leadership isn't given to the most competent. It's given to those who project certainty. And while you're questioning yourself, seeking consensus, trying to be fair to everyone, they're deciding, executing, claiming. Cost 3, internal disintegration. This is the hidden cost, the one nobody talks about. You feel fractured, like you're performing multiple roles but living none of them. One version of you at work, another with her, another with your family, another alone. None of them feel real because none of them are. You've become a collection of responses to other people's expectations. And somewhere deep inside, you feel it. That growing emptiness, that quiet rage, that voice asking, "Who am I?" when nobody's watching. That's the cost of living outside your frame, of abandoning your center to satisfy external demands. Cost 4, generational impact. And here's what really matters. If you don't break this pattern, you pass it to your sons. They watch you bend, apologize, defer, shrink, and they learn. This is what manhood looks like. This is how men survive in the modern world. They inherit your confusion, your weakness, your cage, or you break it, and you teach them something different. The return to integrated strength. So what's the way out? Not back to caveman stoicism, not into modern emotional performance, into something different entirely. Integrated masculine strength, where you feel everything but are ruled by nothing, where your heart is open but your spine is straight. This is not balance. Balance is weak. This is integration. Principle 1, reject the false choice. You were told, be emotionally open or be strong. Be vulnerable or be respected. That's a lie. The strongest men in history were deeply feeling men. Marcus Aurelius wrote philosophy while leading an empire. Miyamoto Musashi was both a legendary warrior and a sensitive artist. They felt. They just didn't perform their feelings for validation. You can acknowledge your emotions without making them everyone else's problem. You can process your pain without making it your identity. Feel it, understand it, use it. Don't broadcast it for approval. Principle 2, master the frame. Every interaction has a frame, an invisible structure that determines who leads and who follows. Most men live in other people's frames. They react, respond, adapt. Integrated men build their own frame, and they invite others into it. This doesn't mean domination. It means having a center that doesn't shift based on external pressure. When she tests you, you don't defend, you hold. When the culture shames you, you don't apologize, you remain. When chaos erupts, you don't panic, you anchor. That's frame, that's power, that's what people actually respect. Principle 3, develop emotional sovereignty. This is the skill nobody teaches. Emotional sovereignty means you experience your emotions fully, but you don't need others to validate them. You can be sad without needing her to fix you, angry without needing someone to blame, uncertain without needing consensus. Your emotional world is yours. You invite people in. You don't require their presence. That makes you safe to be around, not because you're emotionless, because you're self-regulated. Principle 4, choose strategic vulnerability. Not all vulnerability is created equal. Broadcasting your insecurities to prove you're evolved is performance. It's manipulation disguised as authenticity. Real vulnerability is selective. You open to those who've earned it. You share with those who can hold it. You don't cry to every woman to prove you're sensitive. You show your depth to the one who sees you clearly. You don't dump your trauma in professional settings to seem relatable. You demonstrate competence first, humanity second. Strategic vulnerability builds trust. Performative vulnerability destroys respect. Principle 5, reclaim your dangerous edge. Society wants you domesticated, predictable, safe. But the most attractive thing about a man isn't his safety, it's his barely contained danger. Not a physical threat, existential danger. The danger that he might walk away, the danger that he doesn't need you, the danger that he has options and standards. Women feel it as confidence. Employers feel it as leverage. Other men feel it as respect. That edge isn't aggression. It's the knowledge that you can survive without anyone's approval. And paradoxically, the moment you don't need validation is the moment everyone wants to give it to you. Principle 6, build in silence. The weak man announces every plan, every goal, every change. He needs the world to witness his transformation, to validate his journey, to applaud his effort. The integrated man builds in silence. He moves, he executes, he transforms, and then he appears different, not because he performed growth, because he became it. Stop posting about your journey. Stop seeking applause for trying. Just do the work. And when you emerge stronger, sharper, more centered, let your presence be the announcement. This is what they fear. A man who feels deeply but acts decisively, who is kind but not weak, who is open but not needy. A man who understands the game but refuses to play by corrupted rules. He doesn't argue with the contradiction. He transcends it. He knows society needs strong men. And he knows society will shame his strength. So he stops seeking society's approval. He builds his own standard, his own measure, his own kingdom. And he invites others into it. But he doesn't beg them to stay. That's power. That's integration. That's what the world secretly craves but publicly condemns. So here's where we are. You've seen the trap. The contradictory programming, the cost of compliance. You've been given the path, integrated strength, frame, sovereignty, strategic vulnerability, dangerous edge, silent building. Now you have a choice. you can close this video and return to the comfortable confusion. Keep trying to satisfy both scripts. Keep wondering why nothing works. Or you can start today. Start reclaiming what was stolen. Start building from your center instead of from their expectations. If this cut deep, if this named something you felt but couldn't articulate, hit that like button. Share this with one man who needs to hear it. Because this message doesn't spread through algorithms. It spreads through men who are tired of the lie. And subscribe, because what we're building here isn't just content. It's a brotherhood of integrated men. Men who refuse to choose between strength and humanity. Men who are done apologizing for their nature. The next video is already waiting for you. It's about the specific strategies for maintaining your frame in a relationship. How to be emotionally available without becoming emotionally enslaved. Click it now, because the work doesn't stop here. This is just the beginning of your return. Let's build.